Alright, thank you for joining us for the story. We're going to be doing party costs. Okay. Says check your mail for mystery catchphrase. Alright. Dear Zori, I hope this finds you well. I'm afraid my efforts to get the Queen to the summit haven't gone as smoothly as expected. The Queen has a situation that may prevent her from attending. I'll give you the full details when you arrive. But the short version is that someone is spreading rumors that Queen Jenna not only met with Evil Scarlet prior to the Queen's Jubilee celebration, but also conspired to give Scarlet the mechanical watch nights. This, of course, is ridiculous, but the Queen can't let the divinity's reach until these rumors are squelched. Countess Anise has suggested that I use my intuitive ability to find the cad spreading the rumors and discredit them. But I don't want to do this alone. Will you come help me? Your friend Kasmeer. And then this one here gets a bit different from the other missions we've had so far. Yeah, and this one we have to sit here and really button prompt, talking to people, try to figure out what the heck is going on. Party politics. Come on. Alright.
Let me catch you up on what's... Someone's lying, and we have to figure out who. Soon as we know, we can confront that person and get them to recant their statement. We need to talk to everyone, find clues to the truth, and build evidence to defend the Queen. Once we discover who among them is the mastermind, we'll take action. But be careful. These people are suspicious and sensitive. Say something too blunt or off-putting, and they'll clam up. If we're obviously undermining their plans, they'll have us escorted out of the party, and it will all have been for nothing.
Introducing a hero who needs no introduction, the commander of the pact.
Keep it together, Kaz. You can get through this. Be confident, like Zori.
Kasmeer, come over here. Don't look so glum. Care for an hors d'oeuvre? Hello, dear Kasmeer. Don't worry your little face over what the Herald's papers say. You'll always be noble in my eyes.
Countess Anise, That's direct and kind of you to say. I'm afraid I don't feel particularly noble.
Your return to grace is only a pardon away. If your talent for detecting lies is all you say it is.
I only hope to be of some small service, Countess. Oh dear. Okay. Let's start picking apart everything they say. One of these ministers is spreading lies about the Queen.
Don't misunderstand, Countess. I'm certainly grateful to you for purchasing my billet, and I'm just not sure I understand the reasoning behind dragging you to the store.
But I thought for certain it was Minister Wee who attended court the day Scarlet was there. Are you sure?
I have a vague recollection of that crazy Zori walking in the audience with the Queen. This was well before the attack of the city, by the way. I still don't know why I noticed her. I was expecting to see Minister Wee's wife here today. Minister Wee, she gets the vapors, frail constitution. Poor dear can't keep up with her husband. Apparently neither can I. I thought he was in court that day, the day that Scarlet had an audience with the Queen. Well, if you see one minister, you see them all. It's a dour look on their faces, but seriously, it is rather difficult to confuse Minister Wee with Minister Estelle or even Minister Art. My memory just isn't what it used to be. Which one did you confuse with Minister Wee, though? I saw Estelle enter the throne room along with the goat farmer, Minister Arton, and the Solari. That red-strewn darky Scarlet, she did.
I remember hearing afterward that Scarlet approached the Queen. No one paid any attention back then. Scarlet was a nobody until the Queen's Jubilee.
Who's that punk who's been looming over the counter?
And then he asked me which pair I wanted, to suggest I couldn't afford both. Why, I should have slapped him on the spot.
Ministers. They make me so uncomfortable. Especially Minister... Excuse me, are you eavesdropping? Yes, what is
You
it?
do realize, I'm sure, that it's rude to eavesdrop, were you? No, my lady, I merely wanted to introduce myself. I am Zori. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Lady Allison, and here is my companion, Lady Brenda. Are you enjoying the party? Some of the guests seem rather tense. I wouldn't think anyone could ignore such a beautiful night as this. Oh, I'm quite sure some of the ministers prefer dark nights like this to sunny days. That's true in my culture as well. I don't get out much, but would you like to visit from you're from? Tell me, how did you find our fair city? It's glorious, a real accomplishment. She's not lying, but she's being evasive. Try again and press her for more information whenever she talks about the ministers. So you said you were at the party. Some of the guests seem a particular minister make you uncomfortable? Minister Codicus, of course. He surrounds himself with intrigue, cloaks, daggers, and shadows. All that nasty business. Don't let him look upon you, my dear. Once he has you in his sights, you're doomed. Come on. I hear one of the ministers is spreading rumors about the Queen. Yes, Minister Codicus is behind it, but he never involves himself directly. He has others to do his dirty work, like Estelle and Art. They were awfully talkative about him with the last party.
Of course, Caudicus would be involved in anything that undermines the Queen. But he's not the one accusing her. We have to find that person.
Care for an hors d'oeuvre? I can take that. Thank you.
What? Minister Estelle is being pressured by Minister Marula to retire? Well, she would never. She's far too ambitious.
I'm going to get more punch. It's so fruity. Stupid. Wait, I wanted to ask you something. Only if you make it quick. I'm so excited. Why is Minister Estelle wants to retire? Lack of excitement? Undoubtedly. She likes to be in the thick of things, but Catechus has had her doing clerical work lately. She meets with him regularly, from what I hear. He'll talk her out of retiring, I'm sure.
I've never met Minister Estelle. If she's been meeting with Catechus, she may know something.
My mind is spinning. So much information. Can you make heads or tails of it? We learned a few things. First, we knew who was at board that day. Yes, a farmer with a goat, 2 ministers, Estelle and Arton and Scarlet. And we know Catechus lets others do dirty work for him. We've also heard that both Estelle and Arton have seen Catechus lately. It must be one of them. Let's talk to Arton first. As I was telling my old friend Catechus the other day, we must do something about all these bandits. They're
Good to see you, Minister.
I have reason to believe they're connected with the white men. Did you see Scarlet the day she had an audience with the Queen? I did. There were 4 of us in the throne room with the Queen and the Countess Denise, and the guards, of course. It was Scarlet, me, Minister Estelle, and some dirty farmer with a goat. And the Queen spoke to Scarlet? Yes, she was polite as always, but the Countess kept whispering in the Queen's ear. It was making us all nervous. Scarlet wanted permission to study the engineer that designed the watchmates. What did the Queen say? She respectfully declined. Scarlet was last in line, and the Queen left before there could be any more discussion. Scarlet tried to say more, but the Queen apologized and hurried out. Anything else? The Slavari, Scarlet, looked livid. She stormed out, shoving guards out of her way. She was rather frightening, actually. I imagine that's what Countess Denise saw that made her hustle the Queen away. Kaz, how does this testimony line up? His description of events falls perfectly into Denise's told. Minister Arton is telling the truth. He must not be the one. Thank you.
You've convinced me. It looks like Minister Estelle is the one spreading this horrible rumor. Let's keep at it. If we're going to confront her, we'll need serious evidence to back us up.
I know for a fact that the Queen had a private talk with Scarlet. How? Everyone is saying it's what must be true.
Lady Claire. Hello, we were just discussing how horrible it is that the Queen betrayed us all. It's just a bad rumor, a lie. No, it's not. I saw her in the Selma district shortly after nightfall. She wore a black woolen cloak with a hood up. The only reason I knew it was her was because I bumped into her and saw her face. Doesn't add up. Listen, between you and me, I may not be telling the exact truth, but they offered me a lot of gold if I say I was there. Please, you can't tell me. You're going to have to testify. Oh, alright, I'll testify that I was paid to lie, but I'll never say who paid me. I don't betray old friends. Still, I wasn't comfortable lying, but my son is ill. I hope the Queen will forgive me.
Good observation. I had a feeling she was lying. The Queen wouldn't hold a private meeting with just anyone, much less a Silvari with no political connections. This woman will testify.
This shrimp bisque is fantastic. I need another bowl.
Is lying a prerequisite for being in the ministry? You seem friendly.
It makes me so sad to think that people who run our city, our kingdom, can't get along with each other.
I can take that.
Now one of the ministers is spreading lies about the Queen. I've had some experience with ministers. Not all are bad. Both my wife and I work for ministers. They can be like night and day. My wife works for Minister Estelle. I work for Minister Art. Do you like your jobs? Most days. My wife has a harder time. Her minister has a gambling problem. If she's winning, she's fine. If not, she's dangerous. Would she know where Estelle was the night of the ledge meeting? Maybe. Estelle often visits her old friend Lady Claire in the evening. Ask my wife if she knows what happened. She's a good woman. I won't want to protect the minister.
I can take that.
That's another witness who can help us prove the Queen's innocence. Nicely done.
So good to see you, Minister. You must be mistaken. My niece knows a guard who heard from a doorman that the Queen... Oh, I've said too much. Greetings.
Oh, you're Zori. Well, no, in these parts, the Queen recently mentioned you were hosting a summit. She'd very much like to attend. That may be complicated. Oh, I know. Those lies Estelle is spreading. Can you imagine our barefoot Queen skulking through the streets at night in disguise? It's laughable. You don't think she met with Scarlet? In the throne room, yes, but not in the streets. A Char emissary visited the Queen that night. While the emissary has since left, the guard who was present will testify. Seems good to know.
Countess Anise hardly ever lets the Queen out of her sight. She and the guard will corroborate the Queen's alibi.
What do you think? Do we have enough evidence to discredit her accusations? Plenty. The servant's wife can testify to that. Estelle met with Lady Claire. Maybe the threat of her testifying will be enough to shut down. What else? We have multiple witnesses who say the Queen turned down Scarlet's requests. I still can't believe Scarlet wanted to study the watchwork night engineer.
Here, I can get you some...
Thank the God the Queen turned that down. So what might Scarlet's anger when she attacked our city? Might explain Scarlet's anger when she attacked our city. What else?
May I take your glass?
We know that Estelle was lying for her. For a patch of gold, you mean? Estelle must have coached Lady Claire. I don't imagine it would be too hard to get her to testify to the lie. I guess they weren't such good friends after all. We're ready to confront Estelle with the evidence.
Looks like we've got everything we need. Time to expose Minister Estelle for the liar she is.
Gentlemen, please leave. I see you've been busy socializing with the guests.
Pardon me? Hello, Busy Bee. I must admit, I'm a bit charmed by how you flirt from flower to flower. I know all about you. Listen closely to what Estelle says. When she's finished, don't be afraid to ask her to repeat what she said. Only press her when you're certain she is lying. I have a question. Is it true that you work closely with Lord Codicus? I used to work with Codicus, but now I'm considering retirement. I've been spending most of my time in the ministry library. I hardly ever see him. Tell me more. Admittedly, I occasionally do some small tasks for him, but he's still recovering from that awful scandal. He keeps to himself most of the time. Tell me more. Even at parties, Lord Codicus is off doing his own thing, and I'm left to my own devices. I'm just a wallflower. She keeps backpedaling. Press her when she lies, and present her evidence to counter her arguments. Can you repeat that? I used to work with Lord Codicus, but now I'm considering retirement.
For an hors d'oeuvre?
I've started spending most of my time in the ministry library. I have hardly ever seen him. Tell me more. Admittedly, I occasionally do small tasks for him, but he's still
can take that.
recovering his
Thank
awful
you.
scandal. You attended his garden party not long ago. Oh yes, I nearly forgotten about that. There was a large crowd there. I only saw the legate minister from across the road. I heard there was only a handful of people there. Even at parties, Lord Codicus is off doing his own thing, and I'm left to my own devices. Hi, huh? Oh yes. I barely spoke with anyone during that party. Beautiful garden, though. A witness said that you had a side with Codicus. He talked, you nodded. Fine. He and I talked, but you'll never learn the topic of that discussion. And you can't prove it that I had anything to do with the Queen. You don't have to prove it. I just have to discredit you.
So perhaps I misspoke. Apologies. I shall revise my statement. Is this a party or a circus?
So what if I work with Lord Codicus? It means nothing. It doesn't change the fact that I was there when Scarlet held her audience with the Queen. Did you hear what the Queen discussed with Scarlet? No, they spoke too quietly, like schoolgirl friends whispering so no one else would hear. Tell me more. I must have been lost in my own thoughts while the Queen and Scarlet conspired deviously. I heard the word watchless. Tell me more. Isn't it bad enough? You know how many people died because the Queen gave Scarlet access to the watchnight? Why are you still interrogating me? She's the criminal. Can you repeat that? No, they spoke too quietly, like schoolgirl friends whispering so no one else would hear. Tell me more. I must have lost my own thoughts while the Queen and Scarlet conspired deviously. I heard the Queen was started out for her own safety. You weren't there. How could you possibly know how they behaved, unless you questioned the goat? I spoke with Harton. His version agrees with the Countess and the goats. Yes, well, one person's politeness is another's friendliness. That means nothing.
Aren't you the nosy one? If you must know, I'll tell you what really happened.
It doesn't matter what happened in the throne room. The Queen arranged to meet Scarlet later that evening. She didn't want any of us to hear them, so she sneaked out. You're sticking by the claim that they arranged this in the throne room? Absolutely. Their foreheads were practically touching. They could be so chummy. They agreed to something, and what else could it be? It was brief. A look, a smile, maybe something they had already arranged to meet later. I don't know. All I know is that I saw them under the bridge. It was that Queen and Scarlet. I'm not the only one who saw her. There was another witness who came forward. A noblewoman. Why are you working so hard to protect Queen Jenna? She sold us all out, and now she's trying to cover her tracks. It was definitely Jenna in a red cape. Absolutely. Their foreheads were practically touching. So they were so chummy. They agreed to something. What else could it be? So it was brief. I'm gonna stop repeating this stuff. More.
For an hors d'oeuvre?
Your accomplice You told your accomplice to say it was a black cape. No, it was a red cape. Have you
I can
forgotten?
take that. Thank you.
You're trying to confuse me. It was a red cape, I'm sure of it, dark red. If you and your friend can't agree on the color of the Queen's cape... Oh, wait, I remember now. The Queen was in a black cape, yes. The Countess Anise was the red one. Did I forget to mention that they were both there? You know, the Countess wouldn't let the Queen go anywhere alone. So you're saying Countess Anise was there too? What? Clearly, we need to discuss this further.
This way.
I think we're done here.
You have to eliminate any doubt at all. If there's even the smallest chance that Estelle is telling the truth. She's not. But we need to hear Anise say that she wasn't under that bridge. I'm sure I'd sensed if this was some kind of mesmer cover-up, don't you think? Doesn't matter. I'll know if the Countess is lying. Go.
May I fill your glass for you?
Oh, no. Avoid anything remotely equestrian. In absence of
Don't want your guests to enter your
I've been occupying
and think
myself
the
by
balusters are
planning the
centaurs.
extermination of this
Don't
entire
approach her.
gaggle of
It's an illusion.
I
I am
thought maybe
elsewhere.
some well-placed
Find me,
thoughts here
and we
there
shall
would
talk.
help you.
My apologies for the deception, but I must go to unconventional lengths to protect Kryta. Nonsense. I was at no such meeting. I did, however, receive a mysterious message signed only with the initial E. The note said that Estelle was in a bandit gambling parlor when she was supposedly spying on our queen. Reminding her of this will be enough to make her drop her lie, faster than Farron's dignity.
It may have taken me a while, Countess, but I finally realized my problem, Mr. Lick. If you can hear me through your illusion.
You again? I hope you're not planning another interrogation. This is a party, if you haven't noticed. What?
I imagine Countess Anise had lied to cover up her presence at the bridge. It's her word against mine. Actually, Minister, it's several people's words against yours. What are you talking about? Has someone said they testify against me? We have witnesses who support Countess Anise's story. Traitors. They'll find themselves in the streets soon. I doubt it. The Queen has positions for those who are honest and honorable. There are those of us who see through ministry lies, and our numbers are growing. Sure you would approve, eh, Kaz? Goodbye, Minister.
I'll have you know I'm very well connected, and I... What do you mean?
We know you couldn't have witnessed this supposed meeting with Scarlet. We hear you were busy meeting with some lobbyist that day.
Lobbyist? What are you talking about?
So much for subtlety. You were busy gambling with some ruffians.
Keep your voice down. That's a baseless accusation.
Is that so, Minister Estelle? Perhaps you and I should speak privately and sort this little mess out. Please follow my guards. I'll be with you shortly.
Countess Anise, thank you for inviting us to your party. It's been an entertaining and productive evening.
Now that this messy affair is out of the way, I feel fairly certain Queen Jenna will attend your summit. I think Minister Estelle will soon see the value in cooperating with me, rather than rotting in prison for treason.
Thank you.
I may have use for her. On a separate note, I do hope you will stay and join the Queen's entourage, Kasmeer.
You mean travel with the Queen to the summit? I'd be honored.
Yes, I think that's the right play. You will, of course, have time to relay the full details of your father's story at that time. Nonsense. Now go. Say pretty things to my guests and enjoy yourselves for the rest of the evening.
He must visit more often. His parties wouldn't have been nearly as much fun without him. The Queen sends her gratitude as well. She You know, Lieutenant Sun. I'll be there as well, though incognito. That's wonderful news. I appreciate your support, Countess. If you have no objections, I believe I will keep dear Kasmeer with me for a while. We have much to talk about, don't we, Pet? One last question. If you knew Estelle was guilty, why not just out her? Simply put, I'm too close to the Queen for my claims to be believable without support. I'd lose much if our dear Jenna was incarcerated, and the Ministry was nowhere. That's where you came. I understand. Well, I won't keep you any longer. Goodbye for now. And thank you for joining us for this play with Zori. And that's gonna be it for today.
All done.
Thank you and have a good night.